Good morning, students. This is Latif sir. Today I am going to start the first chapter of class 7th chemistry. The topic is matter and its composition. Matter and its composition. This is the first chapter of class 7th chemistry. Okay, in this chapter we will discuss about matter and different types of state of matters. Okay, and their characteristics. So, first, what is matter? You know that in class 6 you have already studied about matter. What is matter? Matter is anything that has mass and occupies some space is called matter. Anything that has mass and occupies some space is called matter. Okay, the definition is given. Anything that has mass and occupies space is called matter, and the amount of matter that a body contains is called its mass. Okay, and the amount of matter that a body contains is called its mass. And when the mass is measured with respect to the gravitational force, that is when the mass is measured with respect to force of gravity, it is known as weight. Okay, remember that mass and weight are not same. Mass is the amount of matter that a body contains, while weight, when the mass is measured with respect to the force of gravity, it is known as weight. Okay, and the mass remain constant. Whereas weight of a body or weight of a matter keeps varying from place to place. Okay, so mass remain constant everywhere. Mass of a body or mass of a matter remain constant in everywhere, while weight of the body keeps changing or varying from place to place and from height to depth. Okay, and the amount of space occupied by a body is called its volume. Amount of space occupied by a body is called its volume. Okay, so here 3 points are given: what is matter, what is mass, what is weight. Okay, and one more, volume. And here you have to remember that mass and weight are not same. Okay, now see composition of matter. Okay, matter is composed of either a pure substance or a combination of pure substances. Matter is composed of either a pure substance or a combination of pure substances. Now we have to know what are these pure substances. A pure substance has fixed chemical properties. A pure substance has fixed chemical properties, and it also has well defined physical properties also. That is, pure substance has well defined physical properties like their color, their taste, smell, okay, their state, and their melting point as well as boiling point. These are characteristic of pure substance. Pure substance has fixed chemical properties, as well as pure substance has well defined physical properties. And pure substance can be either an element or a compound. A pure substance can be either an element or a compound. When two or more pure substance, that is elements or compound or both, combine physically, when two or more pure substances may be elements or compound. Okay, so when two or more elements or compounds or both, when they combine physically, such that the substances retain their individual properties, the combination is known as a mixture. For example, when pure salt and pure water mix together, they will form a salt water mixture. Okay, that's why it is written, when two or more pure substances combine physically such that the substances retain their individual property, the combination is known as a mixture. Okay. And see that composition of a mixture varies, as it is not a chemical combination and can be easily separated by some physical methods of separation. For example, a mixture of iron and sand, iron particles and sand particles can be separated by using magnet. Similarly, a mixture of sand and water can be separated by a filter paper. Okay, so in mixture, the constituent particles, that is elements, in mixture the constituent elements are not chemically combined, they are combined physically. Okay, that's why the component, that is elements of a mixture, can be separated by using some physical method. Okay, now see elements. I have already told what are elements. Elements are the pure substances of an okay. What are these elements? An element is a substance that cannot be broken down into simpler substance by physical or chemical means. An element is a pure substance. An element is a substance that cannot be broken down into simpler substances by physical or chemical method. And in the nature, there are almost 118 elements are found. And some example of elements are carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, iron, cobalt, nickel, gold. All these are some examples of elements. Okay, so these are example of elements: carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur. These are example. Okay, now one point is given: an element is made up of a very small particles. An element is made up of very small particles, and these small particles are known as atoms. Okay, so what are atoms? Elements made up of very small particles, and these small particles are known as atoms. And atoms of an element are all of the same type, and atoms of different elements differ from each other. For example, any two atoms of oxygen are identical, but an atom of sulfur is different from an atom of oxygen. Okay, okay. So atom of same element are same in all respect, their physical properties, their chemical properties are same, but atoms of different element are different. Okay, and the word atom is derived from Greek word atomos. The word atom is derived from the Greek word atomos. And Democritus, a Greek philosopher, was the first to propose the term atomos meaning that which cannot be divided. Okay, atomos meaning which cannot be divided. So atom is the smallest particle of matter. Now when atoms combine, they form molecules. Okay, so atom of certain element join to form large particles, and these large particles are called molecules. Atoms of certain elements join to form larger particle, and these larger particles are called molecules. Okay, for example, when two hydrogen atoms join, they will form hydrogen molecules. Okay, when 8 sulfur atoms join, they will form sulfur molecules. A ring shaped sulfur molecules like this is the sulfur molecule S8, in which 8 sulfur atoms are there, and this is the hydrogen molecule. This is hydrogen molecule in which 2 hydrogen atoms they join to form hydrogen molecule. Okay, and some atoms, atom of some element do not have the ability to form molecules, and they exist as a single atom. For example, helium, argon, neon, xenon, krypton. These element, atoms of these elements exist as single atoms. Okay, so atom of some element do not have the ability to form molecules, and they exist as single atoms. Okay, now see compounds. What are compounds? See compounds. A compound is a substance that is formed when two or more elements chemically in a fixed proportion. Compounds, I have told, elements are pure substance, and compounds are formed by combination of two or more elements. Okay, so a compound is a substance that is formed when two or more elements combine chemically in a fixed proportion. For example, CO2, carbon dioxide, is a compound. NaCl is a compound. Okay, sodium chloride. Water is also a compound. Water H2O. Okay, so these are example of compounds in which the constituent particles, that is constituent atoms, joined chemically. Okay, for example, water is a compound formed by the chemical combination of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen, in 2:1 ratio. In water, two hydrogen atoms are there and one oxygen atom. So in water is formed by combination of hydrogen and oxygen in a fixed ratio, atomic ratio, which is 2:1. Okay, so when two or more elements combine, they will form compounds. Okay, and in compounds, elements combine chemically in a fixed proportion. Remember that. Now see, carbon dioxide, table salt, that is NaCl. Table salt means NaCl. Sugar, that is sucrose, are the other example of compound. Every compound has a definite composition. Okay, every compound has a definite composition. Now see, water molecule. In water molecules, two hydrogen atoms are directly joined with one oxygen atoms. Okay, diagrammatic representation of two water molecules and their constituent atoms. Okay, when two hydrogen molecules combine with one oxygen molecule, they will form two water molecules. So I have told that every compound has a definite composition. This means that the amount of each element that constitute a compound is fixed. This means that the amount of each element that constitute a compound is fixed. For example, the compound carbon dioxide has carbon and oxygen chemically combined in the fixed atomic ratio of 1:2. In CO2, 1 carbon and 2 oxygen. So the atomic ratio is 1:2, 1 carbon and 2 oxygen. Okay. The compound carbon dioxide has carbon and oxygen chemically combined in a fixed atomic ratio of 1:2. Okay, and this corresponds to 1 atom of carbon and 2 atom of oxygen. And the properties of compound differ from those of constituent elements. Here one more important line: properties of a compound differ from its constituent elements. For example, properties of water differ from properties of water are different from the properties of its constituent elements. Like constituent elements are hydrogen and oxygen, uh, and properties of water H2 is different from properties of H2 and property of O2 gas. Okay, so water is a compound that does not support burning. Water is a compound, H2 is a compound that does not support burning, whereas constituent oxygen, the constituent of water is oxygen. Oxygen support burning, and hydrogen is a combustible gas which burn readily. Okay, so properties of a compound differ from those of its constituent element. This is an important line. Okay, and now the next point about compound. The element present in a compound, the elements the elements present in a compound cannot be the elements present in a compound cannot be separated by simple physical method, but but the component of a mixture can be separated by using some physical methods. Remember that the elements present in a compound cannot be separated by simple physical methods. They can only be separated by chemical methods. Okay, now see, state of matter, forces that keep constituent of matter together. I will discuss this point in the next video. Bye students.